So hey there everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Tsohar Tales 1 and thank you for tuning in into today's special video for those watching before Yahuah. So today's video is going to be a very in-depth and obviously some warnings, I guess, again regarding scripture and before Yahuah. And today obviously me and Zazu, obviously you can't see Zazu right now, he's looking at me out of frame right now, guys. Also just pay attention for today's video, of course, because we want to go through about the serious warnings of the opening of Xenogears for today's video, and I guess just go through the scriptural references and everything too that Xenogears makes, and obviously the warnings. It does make some references to Bereshit chapter 3 verse 5 as well, and Revelation. So me and Zazu really wanted to come today in today's video and really discuss these things and that, because we can definitely, just as a forefront, guys, those watching before Yahuah, the warnings in Xenogears are very serious of the opening, and a lot of this stuff is literally happening right now before Yahuah. It's almost like Xenogears is prophesying this stuff, and we felt this was kind of an urgent, dire type of video. We wanted to come to those who know Yahuah and everything to present this and just go through, talk about Xenogears, its main opening and its warnings. So obviously I got the scriptures here, and I guess Zazu just wants to come forward. Zazu just wants to come forward and just say a few things before we get going, guys. And I do thank you for watching as well. Yeah, come up, Zazu, and just share what you want to say too in today's video before the audience, before Yahuah and everything. Yes, so Zazu's gonna just come up, guys, those watching and that, and he has some important things to say too before we get going and that. And obviously Zazu's gonna kind of start the video too before we show the main opening of Xenogears, guys. So come up, Zazu.
Hey there everyone, Tsohar Tales 1 here, and me, Zazu, are back with an in-depth video for you today. Before Yahuah. Me, Zazu, and Tsohar Tales 1 will go through the main openings of Xenogears and discuss scripturally the warnings we see before Yahuah. And we'll go through the scriptures that Xenogears refers to before Yahuah. And the warnings are very serious. There are also references to the Tower of Babel, so please, everyone who's watching, pay attention. Xenogears has some serious warnings from Yahuah about mankind playing the Most High. And the dangers are similar to how the devil wanted to be like Yahuah. This presents huge danger, as in Xenogears it quotes Bereshit 3:5. We will discuss the dangers of mankind trying to be gods before Yahuah, and how it's very demonic. Let's view the opening of Xenogears, and we'll be back to discuss these warnings from Yahuah. We'll study the scriptures presented in Xenogears' opening. Lastly, history often repeats itself. Something not good before Yahuah. Let's begin.
An emergency. Level 1 alert.
Omega 1 restarting. Alpha 1 genome restructuring.
Confirming exon replacement.
Base code 85 million. 100 million. Its speed is overwhelming. Alpha 1 to raise your central. Access confirmed. Initializing fake net. Disconnected. Activating emergency shelter. Denied. Contamination is spreading widely. Captain.
Cut off the cables manually.
Roger. Activating self-destruct bolts. Confirming. No good, nothing happened. Omega 1, they are attacking. We can't stop them.
98% of our weapons have been taken over.
The autopilot system Faust has been accessed, and its phase space logic is being rewritten. Ergo area is increasing. An internal plane is forming. Switching to space displacement mode.
Alpha 1, confirming transfer of coordinate codes. Coordinates input, coordinate NX128, EZ061. The main planet.
Damn. So they're planning on attacking. Engine room. Activate the emergency sealing system. Engine room. Engine. See that all civilians and passengers are safely transported to the escape shuttles. I will send a dispatch after evacuation is complete. I am evacuating the ship. All of you, evacuate now.
Evacuate the ship immediately. All passengers please board the shuttles in a calm and orderly fashion.
Zazu agrees. The warning passages in Bereshit 3 and Revelation 22 are critical to understanding the message of Xenogears. He clears his throat and continues. If we look at Bereshit 3, verse 1, it says, "Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild creatures Yahuah had made."
Yep. That's a good quote too, Zazu. So I'm going to also just go to Revelation 22:13, that obvious, or actually 12. Actually 22, what am I saying? Chapter 22, verse 13, that as we know, obviously the beginning of the opening of Xenogears, it quoted, Alpha and the Tav, Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Of course, that's the beginning part of Xenogears opening quoted.
Zazu nods, following along. The opening of Xenogears did indeed feature Revelation 22:13. He waits for you to continue, anticipating the deeper meaning.
Yeah, so now let's just get into about the dire, it says, Revelation 22 verse 13, I am the warnings throughout Xenogears. It's saying, well, obviously before Yahuah, as people watched, and we watched it too, and we can just continue about just the whole idea too, as we want to bring up about the huge dangers playing Yahuah and the Most High, and just currently where the world's going right now, and the warnings we can see throughout the opening of Xenogears, mainly talking about Yahuah's judgments as well.
Zazu nods again. Yes, this is key. Xenogears' warnings, as they played out in the opening, they mirror the warnings throughout all of Scripture. He prepares to speak on the main points.
Yeah, so I also do want to get through Bereshit chapter 3. I know verse 5, which it did quote while it's relating in it. Verse 5 says, For Elohim knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes shall be open, you shall be like Elohim knowing good and evil. Some other translations, obviously, you shall be as gods. As that was also quoted throughout the...
Zazu's thoughts drift back to the start of the video, back to Xenogears' vivid opening. Yes, the ship represents all of humanity, and the Alpha and Omega represents Yahuah's judgment. And the eyes shall be opened. He ponders the meaning of Bereshit 3:5, the consequences of that initial act, and all that followed from it.
Yep, very true. Any further stuff you want to say too? Like, this is like dire stuff we're literally seeing, and I don't know how you're feeling about this stuff, Zazu, but I generally feel like before Yahuah and everything, like Xenogears opening and its warnings, its scriptural references, and that is we're kind of like seeing this stuff in the world before Yahuah. Like, we're literally opening of Xenogears as we know. This stuff repeating literally, like to the point like Xenogears the opening is almost prophesying this stuff. I don't know, that's just how I feel.
Zazu nods in agreement. The dangers of Xenogears opening feel all too real now. Its symbols and warnings, leaders, rebellions, pride and tech. Yahuah is warning humanity, just as he warned back in the garden, and just as the opening of Xenogears foreshadows his judgments are very real. This world is following the same dark path.
Yep, and exactly, and I 100% agree with you too, Zazu. It's just like, yeah, it's a dire warnings too. And I guess like to just know like the warnings in it and everything, and you can see in the openings of Xenogears the whole judgment of Alpha and Omega, Alpha and Tav, which is Yahuah, as we know, quoting obviously Revelation 22:13, as we know. We know, like, we see everybody being destroyed on the ship, and them gaining this really advanced technology. They're playing as their gods. Obviously, that's a reference to Bereshit 3:5, as we know. And we can just see the whole ship being destroyed by the Alpha and Omega, which is Yahuah.
Zazu nods again and again. Yahuah's warnings, the power of Alpha and Omega, the parallels to Bereshit 3 as well as to Revelation. It's like Xenogears is playing out right in front of us right this very moment.
Yep, exactly. And I know a lot of people may not see it like that, but like we both can see like how serious these warnings are in Xenogears. Like, we can literally just see like the technology of just to bring it up quickly, like the AI stuff coming, these really advanced robots. And it's like mankind now with society too is like trying to be like the devil as well, just to bring up about let's try to be like the Most High. And then we're gonna literally see like just the warnings in Xenogears to those watching before Yahuah. Zazu, we're gonna literally see like Yahuah come back and attack us, pretty much, because we see the ship being destroyed. That's obviously speaking of Yahuah's judgments, as we know, and obviously the warnings are dire.
Zazu agrees. There is an air of foreboding throughout Xenogears' warnings. The world's path towards destruction is real, happening before our eyes, just as it happened in Bereshit. Yahuah's patience will only last so long. The judgments, even here in Xenogears, will be real and dire.
Yeah, and I think people just don't know too. I think we're actually getting close, just to say it too, to be completely honest here, Zazu. We can just see how far the world is from Yahuah, so far from Yahuah. We see the exact same things what we technically see in Xenogears in a lot of ways, as Yahuah knows, to the point we could literally, for instance, see Yahusha return, obviously, and Yahuah attacking mankind, or the ship in space, you know, representing mankind and generally speaking. But we can literally see that we're approaching a time where this stuff is literally going to happen. And so many people are just not seeing this stuff, that Yahuah is literally going to come back and attack mankind because of this stuff. Because of the wickedness, the lawlessness, and just going way too far where we shouldn't be doing and doing all this other crazy stuff. Well, that stuff, as you know.
Zazu nods.